Hey everybody. Another thing I want to do here with this channel is present a couple products and tools to you that we like to use in the shop. Tools and products that we find really useful, but yet maybe a lot of people don't know about it. Um, we look for unique products that do a better job than average, and I got a couple today that um, we use a lot of, and they never let us down. First one, yeah, there's a good chance that you've seen it. I think maybe even Walmart carries it now. We've been using it for years, and we use a good bit of it. It's fluid film. It's a rust and corrosion preventative, um, but yet it's got other properties that are very useful. Um, we actually use this to undercoat the bottom of our vehicles. We live up in Ohio, and we get a lot of salt and stuff that's just hard on the undercarriage. And so we'll take this, and you can buy it in a gallon form. Actually, we'll put it in a paint pot and spray it like you spray paint on a vehicle. We'll coat the underside of our vehicles with it. Works really good in that way. Or you can buy these aerosol cans and undercoat stuff, on the bottom of your car with that too. I mean, wiring, brake lines on like a hydraulic brake system on a car. We use a bunch on plow trucks. Obviously, they see a lot of salt. They got a lot of hydraulics on them, and sometimes their fuel lines are steel, stuff like that. And if that rust gets away from you, you just got a mess on your hands. They become a rust ball. And so we take the time every year during our yearly service on these plow trucks. We will spray all the hydraulic fittings down and any steel hoses down with this fluid film. And the amazing stuff about it is it sticks. We've had phone calls from the township trustees, like, nearly a year later. Hey, I think I got a fuel leak or a hydraulic leak. I got all these wet fittings. And we get to looking at it here. They're just seeing fluid film that we sprayed on months ago, and it's still on there. And they never noticed it till, they got the truck out for the next year ready to use it. And they think they've developed a leak over the summer that they didn't use it. It's good stuff. So it's really good in that application. Also great for keeping battery connections clean, starter connections, stuff like that. It keeps your corrosion built up on those terminals. Then the third application we use it for is lubrication, and even some penetration. We've had plugs in our differentials that seize in there to the point where with a big breaker bar and heat, we can't get it to back out. But we found that if you heat the plug with the fluid or heat it with the torch, then spray fluid film on it, and maybe you have to do it 2 or 3 times, but that heat will allow that fluid film to melt into the plug threads and loosen it up. And it's been saved us on those more than once. Just really good as a lubrication and a penetrant. It's actually it's lanolin based, and if you don't know what that means without googling it, that's sheep wool. It's called wool fat, and so it's a natural product. It's non-toxic, non-hazardous, so non-toxic, non-hazardous that they actually can use fluid film in California. It's amazing. It's actually made in California. But I do like the fact that it's non-toxic. Chemicals build up, in your system after decades of working on trucks and having chemicals on you and stuff. It's a little bit of assurance, that maybe, it may not assurance, but you know what I mean. It feels good anyways, thinking that maybe this is better for me than an alternative. So yeah, I really recommend it. Strong recommendation. The other product I'd like to show you is this Blue Block thread sealant. It's made by Oatly, and if you do any plumbing, that's a really familiar name. They make your primer and your glue for PVC pipe and stuff like that. It's real common to see Teflon tape, all that stuff. So this is like their top of the line product for thread sealing. I believe, I think back when I was doing some natural gas plumbing in high school and stuff, we were using this sort of stuff to seal it. But what we use it for in the trucking world is we work on those plow trucks and on wet lines on trucks, dump trailers, and all that sort of stuff. Those hydraulics have a lot of pressure on them, under them, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to seal them up. Some guys try to seal those hydraulic fittings with thread tape, and if you know anything about that, that doesn't work. Thread tape dissolves in the presence of hydraulic oil. Just regular oil in general too. Teflon tape will not seal. But you put this thread block, this blue block on it, put it on the threads, let it set for 5 minutes, and then put the fittings together, tighten them down, and you'll seal those really hard to seal fittings. When you got 1.5-inch hydraulic fittings on the back of a hydraulic pump with pressure behind them, it takes good stuff to seal it. Most of the time we can get it sealed in one try. Also, we used to plumb trailers for fertilizer tankers, and on the pumps and hoses and stuff for those, we'd use the same blue block, and it'd seal that fertilizer, and that stuff would get through most anything as well. So real good product. I suggest that if you do very much plumbing at all, get some of this blue block. It's good for coolant, for oil, for hydraulic, all those pipe fittings that you want to seal up. Don't use it on your air fittings. Please don't. Use thread tape. Thread tape's cleaner, quicker, and cheaper. I mean, don't spread blue goo all over the pipe fittings if you can help it, It's messy, but it works.